We're on. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Why don't you where do you want to start?
I hate my job.
You hate it?
I hate it.
Okay.
I've been there for 2.5 years now,
Okay.
and I hate
Okay. Well, tell me about it. Sounds like
it.
you've got a lot of.
A lot of
Emotion
it's
about
my
it.
boss,
Okay.
and I guess partially coworkers, but it's mainly my boss, because I like what I do, and I like my clientele for the most part.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a dog groomer.
Okay. Yeah. So you've done that for 2.5 years.
I've done it for about 5 now,
I see.
and I've been at this salon for 2.5.
Okay. So you like the work,
Mm-hmm.
it's the relationships.
Right.
Okay.
So there's nowhere to move up
Mm-hmm.
in regards to management or anything, but my boss likes to play games with us. For instance, last year she decided that for all of us to understand what position she was in, that we would have a different boss each month.
Okay. Like
And-
each of you would get to try it
Mhm.
on. I see.
Right, and we would have we're on commission, so we make 50%, and if you were the boss, you got an extra 5%.
Okay.
So after I was the first one that did it, and everything ran smoothly, and it was fine, and then it just magically disappeared.
What did?
The whole idea disappeared.
I see. Okay.
So
So you were the only one that did it?
right,
Okay.
and stuff like that. Things that I don't agree with my values, such as we have boarding facility that's with her house in Gainesville, and if I lock up for the day and she hasn't shown up to get the boarders,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that's worrying about, do they have food, do they have water, are they okay?
Okay.
And I've come back multiple times in the day, up to 11 o'clock once, to let them out, and been calling her and saying, where are you? And she or her husband will be like, well, we had a party, and I know they're intoxicated,
Sure.
and I worry about, the safety of the animals, or, if we can leave the heat on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if I bring my concerns up, I'm either not backed by my coworkers because they're afraid that they'll be punished in some way, or I've been punished in stirring the pot or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds like that you have a real concern for the care of the animals. And I'm wondering, it sounds like too that you're worrying about it when you're not there.
Yeah, I take it home with me all the time.
Yeah.
And it's even if it's going smoothly with the animals, just stuff that she does in general, I take home with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have any boundaries, so there's stuff that comes up when I'm not there all the time.
Okay.
So, and I understand, my coworkers haven't been there as long. I'm the one that's been there the longest.
Okay.
So if they text me or call me and have questions, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But my boss believes that she's the salon manager as well as the owner,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, but I believe that if there's gonna be a manager, that they need to be there,
Yeah. Okay.
and she's never there.
She's not.
And if somebody makes decisions, we either get our tails chewed or some sort of negative impact.
Mm-hmm. What's an example of getting your
Tail
as
chewed?
you said your tail?
We had a boarder come in that was Cat,
Mm-hmm.
and we had
That
to,
was the person's name?
no, I mean,
Oh, the cat.
yeah, the cat was, I think her name was Dixie or something.
Okay.
But the owner wanted us to brush it out before it went home. The cat did not have up-to-date rabies
Yeah.
that I could tell,
Mhm.
and ended up biting and clawing two of the girls.
Really?
And by law, we're required to do a bite incident report with the police, as well as try to contact the owner. So my boss wouldn't answer, and I called her multiple times. My girls are freaking out. I tried the owner of the cat. They won't answer. So I called the police, had them come over. They did an incident report and told my girls to go to the ER, go wherever you can, because we need to talk to a doctor and see if you need rabies shots. And the girls didn't want to talk to my boss because they're afraid to talk to her.
Yeah.
And it kind of fell on me because I've been there the longest.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally got a hold of her, she got irritated with me and was like, you know, I don't understand why you're making such a big deal out of this. You should be doing your job instead of being on the freaking phone all the time. So,
Yeah.
and she was just mad that we did an incident report.
But you were doing what you're supposed to do. So is it safe to say that you are kind of the leader of all the other groomers?
Yeah, if I'm there, yes.
Yeah, okay, and they look up to you because you've been there the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And your relationship with them, you said, is not great either, but it's not as bad as.
Yeah, it's hard because I'm more part-time than they are.
I see.
So when I'm not there as much, when I go back for school and whatever, they bond a little bit more because they're there with each other every day, which is absolutely fine.
Sure.
It's just,
sure.
There's more distance with us when I'm not there.
And how many total?
There, including myself, is now 3 of us.
Okay. And that's all that this business does is grooming and boarding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said it's connected to the owner's house?
The boarding facility is. The grooming facility is here.
And you worry more about the animals in the boarding facility because they're bigger?
When they're there with her, I'm not a part of that place. I can't see or be a part of it, but I know clients have come up to me and been like, why didn't my dog get the food that I provided? Because some of our dogs have specific diets, like they're allergic to some things, or
right.
And all I can say is I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. So stuff like that, or especially if they're left at the salon, that's when it really bothers me. Because I can't be there all day and all night.
Yeah.
So, and one of the girls will text me and be like, what do we do? Who do we contact?
Brittany, what's it like for you when you're getting ready to go to work?
I hate it. I get so stressed out. And I just have this knot in my stomach when I wake up. And I'll text my boyfriend and be like, I don't want to go at all.
How long has it been that way?
Probably about a year.
It's a long time.
Yeah. And it's just, it started out small, but it's just gotten progressively worse, especially in the last 6 months.
It's hard. And then on your way to work, you're feeling more stronger distaste for going.
Right. And if I find out, like, in the morning that my boss is off doing something and I'm not going to see or hear from her the whole day, it's fine. I'm great with it. But if I know she's going to come in or something, or I'm going to have to deal with her, that knot's there, like, all day, and I can't wait to leave.
It takes up a lot of your life. But then you're also feeling it outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how does that affect you on a day-to-day basis?
It's gotten so bad that it's starting to affect me physically. I'm starting to carry a lot of stress and tension, and to the point where I get headaches, or my neck hurts constantly, and I know it's just tension.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of it out on my boyfriend.
Okay.
If I've had a bad day at work, he knows instantly, and he's like, "What happened?"
Yeah. Right.
And I'm just irritable, and or I'll stress out to the point like I'm in tears and like having like a slight, panic mode for 10-15 minutes before like I'm calmed down and like it's just work, it's okay, it's just a job.
Okay. And that helps,
Mm-hmm.
in at least in the short term.
Right.
Obviously, it doesn't help in the big scheme of things. So let me just ask you, just so that I can get a clear understanding, what's keeping you at this job?
Money. right now, it's been working well with school.
Mhm.
I can be a little bit more flexible
Okay.
with my hours or with the days that I work,
Mhm.
and I can still make an okay amount of money,
Mhm.
working less days than I would if I were at an office somewhere or maybe waitressing. And that's really the only thing right now, is I'm scared to go somewhere else and make that jump, because I've gone to interviews,
Okay.
and I've
Recently?
mhm.
Okay.
And I've gotten offers, and I'm just scared to make that jump and be like, well, what if they won't work when my class schedule changes? Or what if I'm killing myself, working more hours than I did before,
Mm.
and making less money,
Mm.
and not being able to keep up with it?
So it's like a lot of what if kind of questions. Do you have answers to those
No.
what ifs? But the questions keep coming up.
Right.
Does that seem to make it better or worse?
I mean, like, I think it makes it worse, because, like, I'll get brave enough to go to an interview and get an offer, but once it comes down to a decision, like, I panic, and,
Okay. Because even though you hate it, it's still fairly stable and works with your schedule.
yeah, it feels like a necessity right now.
Okay. So let's just, for argument's sake, say that you decide that you're gonna stay at this job for a little while longer. What are some ways that you have in the past coped with a lot of the stress and anxiety and all the other emotions you feel about your work? What are some things that work for you?
I don't even know anymore. It's just gotten to the point where I've tried not talking to my boss.
Sure.
When she comes in, I've focused on what I'm doing, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine, I'm just trying to do my job."
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. It doesn't faze her, or she talks behind my back to the other groomers,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
or if I play nice to her, then she, wants to make me her best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm past that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tolerate that anymore.
Okay.
So I really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really past this, really able to kind of think about ideas about how to deal with it.
Right.
I wonder, what having such a bad relationship with your boss really means to you.
I've always tried to be like the not like necessarily people pleaser,
Mhm.
but the responsible worker, I have never had a boss say something bad about me.
Mm-hmm.
And even this one now, she'll say in my face, "You're always the responsible one, you've always been here," da, da, da. And I know I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I have gone above and beyond for most all of my jobs. So to not have a boss like me is weird.
Mm.
And, I know that I've tried to do everything I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm. You feel like a real responsibility to make the relationship better.
Right.
Okay.
Because I can tell now that this has gotten so bad, my work's starting to suffer.
I see.
So I don't feel like I'm as good at my job now.
Yeah. Let me just throw something out there just because it popped in my head. You say that you've tried a lot of stuff to try to make the relationship better, but it's not. But it does seem like that you still feel the ownership of it, like it's your responsibility to make it better. And because you can't, that adds to this negative feeling. Does that seem accurate?
Yeah. Because I can't make it work anymore. It doesn't matter if I ignore her, if I, you know, babysit her, or, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'm not making it work, then somehow the business is gonna suffer, or my job's gonna suffer. Like, I should be the one making this work.
Right, and that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure for you to be the only responsibility in the relationship. And if you've tried a lot of stuff and it's still not better, then I wonder, just as an outsider, how much of it is her responsibility?
I don't think any of it's her responsibility in her head.
Not in her head, but in reality.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a boss, you should try and take care of your employees. You know, but I feel like as her employees, we're just a sounding board for her problems or her daily life. And if we're not wrapped up in that with her, then we're not useful to her. And the business is just something that's there.
Yeah. If that's true, then it makes sense to me then, Brittany, that understand you feel responsibility, but also the way that she treats you is not your responsibility. Nor is it a reflection on you. The way that she treats you is because of who she is, not because of who you are.
Like, I get that, but I still feel responsible because I still have to work there. And I still feel like if I don't make it smooth, it's gonna make my job that much worse. Or if she wants to, because she's gotten rid of people just because she didn't like something, which is, you know, whatever, but I still need a job.
Sure.
And I feel like if I don't keep that responsibility and make it work, then I'm putting myself in jeopardy.
Understand. Yeah. Which is, again, a lot of pressure. Maybe that's what we work on next time, is figuring out how to separate that pressure to make it work from what you really